Folks, how are you? Let's talk about James Lowe, that is, who has been, his name has been all over the social media and indeed the print media lately. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? I would imagine it's the latter. So we have James Lowe, a charismatic player indeed. I've met him briefly, as I'm sure an awful lot of you have as well, before games. He came to Leinster from the Chiefs. He has since become a centurion for Leinster, and he has recently broken, after the Lions game last weekend, the try scoring record on 71, breaking Shane Horgan's record of 69 tries for Leinster. A great guy. He is a character, and he's well loved within, according to the Leinster players that have played with him, and indeed the fans who have met him. Now, if you look at James Lowe, he's not on a central contract. Let's just clarify that. A lot of you know that. But he is classed as a pony. Stupid bloody name, if you ask me. A player of natural or national interest, I should say. A pony. Which is kind of similar to the central contracted players. But the IRFU pay 60% for the central contracted players, of which 11 are Leinster players, which, I don't know, you could argue that's a bit much. But look, you get rewarded for your skill and your talent and all that. Fair enough. So Leinster have 11, Connacht have 2, and Munster have 1. Unfortunately, Ulster, Ian Henderson dropped off that list there within the last year, 2 years, I think it was. So there's 13 in total. James Lowe, as he is at the moment, would be in the higher earning bracket of players in the Irish squad. So that would mean Tadhg Furlong is probably the highest paid player at the moment. But James Lowe would fall into a 350 to 550 pay bracket, that sort of thing. That's 100,000 per year. So 350,000 to 550,000 per year. That is a base salary, that is sponsorship, that is performance bonuses, and that sort of thing, right? Which we're all aware of. Now, his negotiations to extend his contract to stay with Leinster and indeed to stay with Ireland, that is all agent based. James Lowe has an agent. The IRFU have their own legal team and agents and all that sort of stuff that are tied up with that. Leo Cullen and Andy Farrell are on the periphery for this. They have no direct involvement in this, okay? Just get that out of the way. The one man who does have a say, however, is David Humphreys. Now, rugby across the globe financially is stagnating. There is more money going out of the game than is coming into the game. All right, that is a fact. You can look it up, believe me or believe me not. Look it up yourselves. That is an issue. The 4 provinces here, Leinster, Ulster, Munster, Connacht, are looking at ways, and the IRFU indeed, are looking at ways of saving money, right, and increasing revenue. Hence, you see higher ticket prices across the board, and you see the player pool for each of the total pro players in Ireland, amongst all 4 provinces, reducing down year on year on. Okay, that's the issue. Now, to go back to James Lowe, a very interesting interview I saw. Now, this will explain a lot. A very interesting interview I saw that James Lowe gave. And he came out with this line, which is very telling. He said, the one thing I want to get out of my rugby career is to pay off my mortgage. Now, where is he going to get that money? It's not going to be in England. It's not going to be in France. Well, it could be in France. But the more likely place he will get it will be in Japan. And that's where I think he will end up going. And by the way, from 2 well-known Irish journalists, which I spoke with last week at last weekend's game, and you'll know who they were if I told you. I won't mention. Anyway, he is not going to Northampton. So just keep that in mind. So that line that he said in that interview The one thing I want to get out of my rugby career is to pay off my mortgage. Is very telling. Thanks, folks. Take care.